his hair. Good morning, Pink. Happy Monday. Good morning, Carolyn. Good morning. Happy Monday. And it is a good morning, V. It is a beautiful morning indeed. The weather is looking good here in Houston, finally. It's still bipolar as hell. It's supposed to be winter, but it is what it is. Ugh. It's time for me to get new. Well, I need to go get an exam because these are old glasses. I broke my big frame ones that really I can see amazingly. So I need to go and get those fixed because these glasses, yeah, I can see, but I can't. Anywho, good morning, Cheryl. Everybody can hear me. No problems. Yay! You got your Sheduer jersey. I'm so happy for you. I know the feeling. It's amazing, isn't it? You get it and you're like a big old kid when you open it up and you see it. So, anywho, today is Shiloh's birthday. Yes, our favorite pianist, troll meister, streaming aficionado, and Headache Gang CEO. Today is his birthday, and he is 26. So, happy birthday, Shiloh. I haven't begun to do posts yet, but I'm going to do a post about our beloved nephew because he deserves it. He has been an amazing brother and an amazing big brother. The first thing I wanted to tackle is if you haven't had an opportunity to see it, Miss Ty, uh, Coach Prime's right hand at CU, she also does party planning and party decor, and she is amazing at what she does. Shiloh and Sheduer had a blackout birthday theme this weekend. Now, Miss Ty did her big one in terms of putting it all together. But what made their birthday celebration so amazing, good morning, Stephanie. Hey, Soher, is that both Shiloh and Sheduer had little surprises planned for each other. And it was apparent that they each told Miss Ty what they wanted to have done. So it was so cute. It was so cute. And what made it even more cute is you could tell, hold on, y'all, he could tell that each of them were so pleased with what they had done for the other. So it starts off with, if you remember when they were in Paris and Shiloh was asking Sheduer about, some of the stuff he gets to do now. And they were eating and Sheduer said he just really could go for some bottomless crab. Some bottomless crab. That's what he wanted. And Shiloh made certain that he did. So he knows that Sheduer likes a good steak. So Shiloh ordered this buffet of lobster tails and crab legs and crab boil. And you could just see Sheduer's face when the man took the foil off of it. And Shiloh is just grinning from ear to ear. And Sheduer is grinning ear to ear. And he's looking at his big brother. And it's just like, oh my God, the little things, the little things. So the man pulled back the foil. They're looking at the food. And then this lady comes with this stone encrusted briefcase, but it's really an insulated, heated briefcase because in it are two Wagyu steaks. And Shador is just rubbing his hands together, and Shiloh is in the background, hyping him up. And it is amazing. Well, we thought that that was it. No, they're sitting there, they're eating, about to eat rather. And so Shador is like, my guy, look over there. And they turn around and they begin a fireworks. Shador knows Shiloh loves fireworks. Shador had 10 minutes worth of fireworks going for his big brother. And Shiloh is just animated. He is going off. He is so excited. And they're both standing on the top of the pool rim and rubbing their hands and flexing their jewelry and hugging each other. And just Shiloh is screaming at the top of his lungs like he is 5 years old again. And in that moment, you're just like, oh, oh, they could do anything for their birthday. And they decided to do their birthday together. And every detail was all about them. I did cry. I did cry. It was so cute. But it didn't stop there, y'all. It didn't stop there. So the next part of it that we got, well, first of all, that layout was absolutely flawless. They had a sprawling table, um, and I imagine the guest list was private, and that's why they didn't film any of that. They just showed the two of them, but they had a sprawling table. It was beautiful on outside, and then Miss Ty decorated the inside of this large white tent in all black. It was a complete blackout. The the decor and the furniture was all black, and then their cake, it was black too. And they had those big letters and lights, and on one side of the room it said Shiloh, other side of the room it said legendary. It was absolutely breathtaking. Now yo daddy it's official when you can host a whole jamboree party in your backyard and do fireworks. So the I mean, what did it? Now you know that all of the Sanders are affectionate. They love to hug on each other and play with each other, whatever. But when they were at that cake, they were teasing each other, whatever. And Shiloh kissed his little brother. And in that moment, they were 4 and 6 again. And it was so adorable. So adorable. Woke up this morning and they still were loading up more content because Shador had another surprise for his brother. Shiloh loves funnel cakes. So what does Shador do? Shador brings a whole funnel cake food truck to the compound. So downstairs from Shiloh and Shador's apartments, uh, yes, they have their own apartments on Coach Prime's property. It's amazing. It's crazy. I love that for them. I want it for myself. I digress. So Shador is showing us they're walking. And they had to have been in the house in the bed or laying around with it because they walking around in these socks. They're walking, and Shador said, I want you to come take a look at this. They walk around the corner, and Shador can't even get Shiloh to the truck fully before Shiloh is doing the Dougie and celebrating. Hey, Demi. And he gets to the truck. Now, this is what lets you know how much these siblings love each other. Shador got the truck, the funnel truck for Shiloh. Shiloh sees the strawberry funnel cake and immediately says, you want that one. I know you want that one. And when the lady asks him what he wants, Shiloh had pointed down to the one he wanted, but he said, I want to get the strawberry. He ordered one for his brother first. It's so cute. His brother got it for him, and he ordered the strawberry one for Sheduer first. Oh, it was so cute. It was so cute. And they both just standing there beaming, just proud of each other. And Miss Ty had captioned, I don't know how many more of these surprises I can take, because they are just, it is just, they, it was so beautiful. It was so beautiful. The fact that of everything they could have done, they could have stayed in San Francisco and they went home and just partied with the people closest to them. And that's what I really love about them because even the staff that is at the house and keeps the house going and stuff, they got to sit down and party with them. That baby got his banana pudding. The housekeeper knew to have that banana pudding waiting on Shiloh. Shador was slamming through that salad, and then what really was cute is we finally got to see our boys back in their energy. Cause Shador was like, "You gonna eat that salad?" He was ready to house Shiloh's salad. I mean, Shador went through that salad like a giant rabbit. He smashed that salad while he was sitting there. Then the mac and cheese, they was Shador kept asking his brother, "You want some?" But he was asking him, "You want some?" Because I'm gonna eat this. And Shiloh said, "Go ahead, kill it, my boy." And that's exactly what Shador did. Shador tore through that salad and that mac and cheese like it was nobody's business. And when the chef cut up his wagyu steak, he's just sitting there grinning and rubbing his hands together. They were two big kids at their birthday party, and it was so beautiful to watch. It warmed my soul something good. I'm telling you. I can't wait to see the rest of the stuff that they done because it was just well, yeah, Sean, because he has been on this stringent diet. You see how toned and buff he is now? He has been on a really stringent diet, like clean, for real clean. So his birthday party, he made up for it, honey, because I know he knows he's getting ready to go into spring training. So it's going to be back to the stringent diet. So it's his birthday party. He's more than earned it. What I loved about it was the two of them, you could tell that they really put some thought in the things they were doing for each other. And I just thought it was cute that each of them went to Miss Ty and told her specific things they wanted done for the other without the other knowing that it was going to happen. So that was amazing. I am so glad that they had the wonderful time. Child, he he was acting like dude on life with that cornbread. You gonna eat your salad? Oh boy. So yes, I know that a lot of you got the address off of my page. I did post the P.O. box again if you hadn't and you wanted to send Shiloh and Shador cards or gifts or whatever. Miss Pilar said you can send both of them to that same address. Um, it was just really cute. It was so cute. Little brother and big brother. Um, how can you not love this family? How can you not love this family? So today is Shiloh's day. He is 26. So, yes, let us flood our timelines with our favorite headache, Shiloh Sanders. So, keeping the ball rolling. last night was the Super Bowl, and it was a big win straight across the board. But I want to get into the halftime show because that was the talk of the town all the way up to the Super Bowl. And let me tell you something, Bad Bunny did not disappoint. His halftime show was so artistically and historically on point. So, a lot of people who may not know the history and the culture of Puerto Rico um, are under the guise that it's its own country, it's not part of America. That's crazy. What's really crazy is the very group of people that went over there and colonized Puerto Rico have the biggest problem with Puerto Rico. I don't get that. You went over there bothering them people. They didn't come over here bothering you. Now they part of your country and now you trying to act like you don't know who they are. Imagine that. I digress. So let's break down the Super Bowl for people who didn't understand his halftime show. So his halftime show opens with this gentleman standing in a simulated sugarcane field. Well, that used to be the staple, and it is still one of the strongest exports of Puerto Rico is the sugarcane field. But what's deeper than that with the sugarcane field is that the reason why Puerto Rico's people and culture is so diverse is because Puerto Rico was one of the stops in the Middle Passage. It was one of the places that the Spaniards, as well as the European colonizers, stopped. And when they made their stop, they traded in slaves, in sugar, and in rum, which then created this multicultural quilt that you now know as Puerto Rico. And what I really love that Bad Bunny did is that everybody that was in the show, it was a melanin hue from as light as white all the way to dark as mahogany. He was showing the full diaspora of Puerto Rico and its culture. So that explains that part. You will also notice what he was wearing was matching what they were wearing because this is the foundation of their country. But Bad Bunny also had on a white jersey that had his name on it, and it has the number 64. The number 64 is significant for 1964 because in this country, the Civil Rights Act was passed, which made it against the law to discriminate against people based on race, gender, religion, language. Oh, his halftime show was full of stuff for you to pay attention to. Because in this moment, he was not just speaking out about what's happening presently, he walked you back through all of the things that have made Puerto Rico rich in its culture, as well as equal in its contribution to this country. So you move past the sugarcane, then you move into the villas and the people that are in the streets and they're dancing and you're looking at them and you're like, oh my God, this is what Puerto Ricans look like. Yes, they do. Some of them look like this. Some of them look like Bad Bunny. Some of them look like white people. They come in a full rainbow of colors. And they were singing and they were dancing and he was showing the little bodegas and he was showing the gentlemen who sit in the street and they drink rum and they play dominoes. And then he showed the children. One of the things that is very notable at Latino parties is the children that fall asleep in the chairs. And I thought that was so cute. He put that in the show too. Then you keep on going and you show the family that is watching television and watching Bad Bunny get the Grammy and the little boy who was detained and had to be brought back to the USA from ICE. He gave him one of his Grammys, but y'all wasn't paying attention. You were so caught up in it. And yes, he was singing in Spanish the whole time because the point of the show was this: we can look different, we can talk different, but we are all the same. We're still people, and you can still find joy in music because even if you don't understand what I'm saying, you can feel the rhythm of this music. That was the whole point of the show. And people were like, I didn't get it. Huh? Okay. Just enjoy the music then. Just enjoy the music. And as they're panning the camera, who do we see? Jessica Alba, Cardi B, his reflection of it doesn't matter who you are, we are all the same. We can all be with each other and enjoy each other. And I loved that statement of it. The other thing that I loved is that when he presented Lady Gaga and she was singing, he was off to the side, allowing her to be in her moment because that was the only part of the show that was in English. But the people never stopped dancing. He never stopped dancing, letting you know that it doesn't matter if we're different. We can still embrace each other. And she was lily white with blonde hair in this sea of brown, dark brown, and black people dancing and singing around. And it was absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. And the entire time, he held that football until he gave it to that young lady. And then at the end, when he finished singing and they did the fireworks and blew out those colors, and the flag of Puerto Rico was in red and blue over the sky, it was like, it was a beautifully done show. Beautifully done show. And now that you understand the pearls of it, it was a whole lot more other stuff, but I'm not going to get into all of that. Oh, no, 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 no. There was one part that was very significant. The dancers who were on the electric poles. I thought that was a flex, reminding people this was a country, the lights went out, and we still, when that big storm hit and Puerto Rico was out of power for almost 6 months. And yes, there was a wedding, an actual wedding. The couple had invited Bad Bunny to sing at their wedding, and he declined. Instead, he brought them to the Super Bowl. That was a real wedding that happened last night. They got married in his halftime show. Can you imagine? You ask a star to come perform at your wedding, they tell you they can't do it, but I'll go you one better. You want to get married on my halftime show? And it was beautiful. And the way he wove it into the story. Because in Puerto Rico, that is how it is. There are weddings that happen in the chapels, in the streets, and the people are celebrating and carrying on. People walking by, dancing and singing. They didn't necessarily have to be invited to the wedding, but they are celebrating the couple who is in love and just got their nuptials pronounced. It was absolutely beautiful. Now that you know these things, I really recommend, if you didn't understand it, go back and watch it on YouTube again. I've watched it 3 times and I see something different every time I watch it. So I will be watching it again. Absolutely fabulous. Job well done, Bad Bunny. Job well done. It was beautiful. It was artistic. It was historically and academically correct. It was about peace. It was about love. It was about all of us getting together. It was about looking at someone that doesn't look like you or come from the place you come from or even speak your language. And the universal language is love, happiness, and music. And it was absolutely breathtaking. He did an amazing job. I was so ecstatic watching that halftime show. So if you haven't had a chance to see it, go check it out on YouTube. Now let's get into Miss Jody, Miss Jody Allen, the owner of the Seahawks. Oh, yeah, last night was a big win for the Seahawks, but it was a big win for more reasons than just winning the Super Bowl because the good old boys club, the owners club, of the NFL, you know how many times they tried to get that lady to get rid of her team? You know how many times they tried to send her on her way? And the idea that you thought a girl couldn't do it. I've said it many times. NFL needs to let the ladies into the chat. We know a thing or two. So congratulations, Miss Jody Allen, on you and your team. The Seahawks win in the Super Bowl. Not only did you win the Lombardi last night, but you also justified, verified, and qualified your seat at the table. And ma'am, you didn't just open the door, you tore that bitch off the hinges. So, congratulations to the Seahawks on their win, and congratulations to Miss Jody Allen on her win. Hmm. So there is that. So now, Super Bowl is over. Folks are getting settled. Spring training is about to begin. You're going to start seeing folks doing a whole bunch of movement and getting ready. It is now time for pro days and combine. Folks are getting ready for the draft. Where that is going to lie and what that's going to look like in reference to what we saw happen last year. I am certain, more than certain, after watching what happened in last year's draft, players, coaches, GMs, and owners alike are definitely going to be doing some things a little different. I am certain that the foolishness and shenanigans we witnessed in NFL Draft 2025 will not be duplicated this year. There will not be any more prank calls to potential players going to teams. That slide that we saw happen, NFL, is you cool? Is you cool? Because all that did was educate and let incoming players know, guard your six, stay on top of your agents, stay on top of where you are. And I am certain a whole lot of negotiations are well underway, well before this draft. Agents are working their tails off to ensure that their players do not experience the same thing. Now, folks can say, well, Sheduer got said because they needed to teach him how to be humble. They needed da, 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 da. It didn't have nothing to do with that. It didn't have nothing to do with it. At the end of the day, it's all about money. Now, let's tell the truth and shame the devil. It's all about money. And the best way to keep your money in your pocket is to devalue something so badly that nobody will want to spend no money on it. Because let's be clear, people were saying 40 to 45. Had that draft gone the way it was supposed to, ethically and accurately, good morning. Okay, maybe he's not getting up. Hmm. Okay. Had it gone accurately and ethically the way it was supposed to go, Shador Sanders could have gotten way more than 40, 45 mil easily. And that was the fear. Now, the fact that he is the son of Deion Sanders, they didn't like that. They didn't like the course that Shador took, because he said no to a lot of big schools. So be very clear. The NFL owners, that little club, they also talk to the collegiate coaches. Some of them play golf together, they yacht together, they vacation together. So the idea that he said no to a lot of big names and decided to not only say no, he went to a HBCU in Jackson, Mississippi. The audacity of this young man to tell us no and go play at a HBCU. Some people hold grudges. So, yes, this year, the incoming rookie class, oh, yeah, they've done their homework. And I'm certain it's going to be done differently. Now, we'll never know how the workings are behind the doors and all of that. The same way we didn't know with NFL Draft 2025. All we had to go off of was the foolishness that was coming out of those war rooms and the lies that were being perpetuated. It will not be duplicated. And you want to know? I can tell you why I know it's not going to be duplicated. Because Coach Dion Primetime Sanders went to Super Bowl weekend and chose violence. Chose violence. Okay. He made certain that everybody understood and knew, I know what you did. You know what you did. And the fork, the fork that he put in it is when he was sitting on that panel with Steve Young, Jerry Rice, himself, and Steve Young looked like he wanted to cry when Coach Prime told him the truth. He all this time thought that Coach Prime wanted to just jump up and leave and go to Dallas. Now Jerry Rice is sitting there. Now y'all know I watch people's body language, right? Jerry Rice is sitting there and he got this look on his face like, we really should move on. There's nothing to talk about here. Prime didn't let it go. Prime didn't let it go. And even went so far to say, somebody on this stage knew. Steve Young was blindsided. That man looked like he wanted to cry. And the way that Coach Prime was telling the story, you could tell that is something that hurt him too. He's playing baseball and he looks on television and somebody in training camp is wearing his number. Good morning, sweetheart. Steve Young was done. And Jerry Rice just sitting there grinning. Now, there had always been talk about Jerry Rice, and he his biggest problem with Dion was that Dion overshadowed him in terms of fans and popularity, whatever. And I was, when I used to hear those rumors, I was like, no, he's not. When Coach Prime said somebody on this stage knew, and he looked to his, okay. Now Steve Young is looking over at Jerry Rice, and he got the look on his face like, you knew. And Coach Prime is just sitting there. But every hot seat that Coach Prime sat in all weekend long, he pulled out all the receipts. Like I said, he chose violence. He was ready for all the smoke. I know people are in their hotel rooms or they're at home sitting on their porches with cups of tea and coffee in their hand, and they're just like, what the hell? I didn't see that coming. I bet you didn't. And then I want to talk about that lady, Miss K. You know, the one that was interviewing Sheduer? I don't like her and I don't trust her either. And I'm going to tell you why. Because, first of all, she's rude. When she's interviewing her guests, she interrupts them, she talks over them, she doesn't give them an opportunity to completely answer her questions. Um, she likes to do what I call Tommy gun interviewing. She'll rattle off continuous questions without giving her guests an opportunity to fully answer the question so as to make them look like they are not well versed or prepared for her interview, when in actuality, she's the one that probably needs to go back to broadcasting journalism 101. But she says something And if you weren't paying attention to it, you missed it. But she said, yeah, I remember at the Jersey release, um, I felt attacked. Attacked? Let me tell you something. When she said that to Shador, everything in me that was ladylike and eloquent oozed out of my ears, and I became Shanita Laquan and was ready to lace up some Air Maxes. Do you hear me? Because attacked, ma'am, but none to worry because nephew was on it. He said, "You see that big old camera right there? If you see, if you see that, you need to know it is what it is." Now, Miss Thing, Miss Little Thing, you know, an old lady like me, you should let me know. Are you not a journalist? You hosting your own TV show. I have to let you know nothing. You're seeking him. He ain't coming to look for you. You were at his Jersey release party, not the other way around. And in 2026, if you are not aware of the fact that any Sanders that's in the building, there is a camera following them. It's usually their camera. They are the keeper of their receipts, the writers of their narrative. You stay in front of a camera all the time. No, you didn't feel attacked. You didn't feel pick me. You were not the center of attention. You have never been in the presence of someone like him or his people. And the matter that nobody was really paying attention to you or really giving you the attention that you wanted, now you're going to throw that out there. A little petite, docile white woman saying she felt attacked by a black man. Specific in the words that she used. Passive aggressive and microaggressions. You didn't feel like you were the star of that moment. Your little interview didn't go viral like everything else. And here's T, hun. It was never going to go viral because well off media is in charge of all press of the Sanders family. Apparently, you didn't get that email. They pick and choose who they talk to, but is her name is Kay. Um, It's some her show is something Adam. Something Adam. The interview it was this weekend. She's a white lady, dark brown hair. She wore it in a ponytail. I don't even know her name, but I do remember her from Kay Adams. That's it. Kay Adams. Up and Adam. Yep, that's it. Yep, that's it. That's her. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. And see, this is why we caution our sons and our nephews and our mates to be very careful when in the presence of these kind of women because that's the kind of thing that they do. It is a trope that they have perpetuated since slavery. They play like they're these docile, soft beings, that they are victims. And this big, manly black beast is just trying to overpower me. When the truth of the matter is, he ain't no more worried about you than the man in the moon. And you didn't like it. And you kept trying to goat him in that interview, and he wasn't biting. So you thought you would use a word that not only is a dog whistle to other white women and white men who are listening, but it would be something that would trigger a defense mechanism in him and then have him have a crash out in the interview. In actuality, he took your ass to school. You see that big camera right there? If you see one of those, it is what it is. And here's T Boo. I've never in my life heard of someone who felt attacked by somebody invite them to sit on their couch and give them an interview. Is you cool? I mean, come on, boo. Stop playing with us, okay? Because I'm going to tell you something, and I repeat this all the time. It's that kind of language that got Rosewood burnt down. It's that kind of language that got Roxbury burnt down. Greenwood in Tulsa burnt down. Lake Lanier flooded out because a white woman opened her mouth and said something. God rest his soul, Emmett Till is not here because a white woman opened her mouth and lied. Attacked is inappropriate, inaccurate, and foul as hell. And to the Sanders family, I will say this. As far as interviewers go, put Kay Adams and Aaron Steinberg at the top of your list to never sit in an interview with them ever again. They do not mean you any ill. They do not mean you anything but ill will. They use your name and your likeness and your popularity to gather people to click on their channels and their podcasts. And they sit there and cosplay like they're really interested in telling your story and sharing your experience when they're using it to pick and gouge away at you for the things they envy, they don't understand, and they crave. See the consistency in attacking Shador Sanders, it hasn't stopped. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. Oh, thank you. So yeah, if you thought that just because Coach Todd is here and the way that the season ended, that now everything is going to be hunky dory, oh no, 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 they're pissed. They're very pissed. They're very pissed, and is they are so pissed that Shador is coming up roses, which is why we're all so excited that he has had an opportunity to go and vacation and spend some time with his family. He went back home. Him and his brother have had a chance to have a birthday party. See, he needed all of that because he was tired. And people were saying he looked like something was wrong with him. No, it's not something was wrong with him, but have you ever gone through something traumatic or emotionally tolling, and then you have a moment to just think about it? It just brings everything like right here. Shador has had to carry a large burden since the NFL draft nights all the way to that very last game of the season. And he did so with grace and patience. Processing and unpacking is exhausting. Let me say this again. Processing and unpacking is exhausting. You have to revisit things in order to let them go. So the fact that he's in Canton and he's with family and friends, that was their joint birthday party. They both gave each other a birthday party. The fact that he's in Canton and he is with family and friends and people who love him and support him. And I love that, like I said, about the people that this, even the staff who works at the estate in Canton, they have helped raise him and they have taken care of him and they love him. And all of those children love the staff that's there too. Their staff, they do not treat them like help. They are included in family celebrations and get togethers. So he is in a safe space, but do not get it twisted. Just because he's got a new coach, just because that season is over and Stefanski is in Atlanta, now he has to process the scarring. And he's allowed us to know in certain instances how things, have affected him. Him and Shiloh when he lost in the Pro Bowl and Shiloh said, "Man, you lost 50K. Things change. Plans change when you lose 50K." And Sheduer said, "Plans change when you lose 40 mil." He lets you know certain things. He's had moments where where he's thought about it. I know how I feel if I lose $40. Somebody took 40 mil from me in front of everybody. That prank call, how he was handled by Kevin Stefanski and those other coaches, only to find out and confirm what we said the whole time. They were doing it on purpose. You cost him a winning rookie season. You took that from him. You can't get back your rookie season. There's only one rookie season. That's a lot. So if he looks a little exhausted, he is. And in that, his father caught cancer just in time. His brother is going through a lawsuit. His sister is going through custody battles. He's in Cleveland trying to hold it together on the football team. Can't really be where his family is. That's a lot. Oh, and then somebody breaks into his house. Yeah, that. And you want to know something that ain't nobody really talks about? How do you think he feels about Jordan? You okay, buddy? Bless you. Bless you. So, you really could see during the Blackout birthday party, he was really enjoying himself. He had a moment, he was able to just be Sheduer, and I am happy. Aw, thank you. So, yeah, they're not done with him. They're going to keep at him. And little things like Miss Kay Adams and her attacked commentary, those will be the jabs that they will try. But I love the fact that all weekend, um, the relationship that Sheduer and his father have is so comical. With Shador even being 24, he still respects his father's guidance. Coach Prime chose violence this weekend, which gave Shador the green light to be brutally honest if he wanted to. And this weekend, that's exactly what they did. They had time today. Shador wasn't playing with Steiny, and Coach Prime wasn't playing with none of them other people. Steiny and Kay tried it with Shador, and he shut him down. Shut him down. Let that boy know, do not call my fans cults. I don't like that word. They are not a cult. And you can't be mad at me because people like me. No, the hater is not going to stop. They can ready to turn it all the way up. Yeah, they did not have no celebrities, just their closest friends and family. Yeah, they're going to turn it all the way up because they know what's coming. And please don't get caught up in the semantics of what Coach Todd has said because Coach Todd was doing double speak in the positive. He was giving a presser, but he told you everything you wanted to know. And if you were listening, you heard what he said. He described his quarterback to you. We know who that is. He told you what he planned to do. So they're going to come hard for him. It's not going to stop because they're just angry. They're angry at the existence. They are angry at um, the fact that they don't have any say so. And then let me pose this to the group. Do you really need somebody to say out loud who you are or what you do? I mean, when we're younger and validation is important to us, of course we do. But as you get older and you recognize it ain't what you call me, it's what I answer to. And how I answer you is through my merit and my work. Anything about Shadua Sanders, anything short of QB1? No. Do we really need them to say he's a QB1? You know why that's so important? Because the people who are opposing it keep putting their value system on that. If we don't say you are QB1, then you're not QB1. Well, you said a lot of the other quarterbacks this season were really good. And actually, without even watching film, if we go to people's stats and we put Shadur's stats in there with everybody else, he tends to rise above these people you keep saying are so good. So I don't think you're qualified to credential who's a QB1 and who ain't. I'm just saying. Drake May last night. But you know what was said? Oh, give him time. He's young. He's new. Nobody, nobody slammed into him like they would with Shador. And that's not to take anything from Drake May because he hasn't done anything to anybody. But the hypocrisy is definitely there. And so I will continue to say this to all of the internet aunties and uncles who and cousins who are listening. You don't have to you don't have to verify or deny anything in reference to Shadur's status, playing, or position. His work ethic and his productivity speaks for it. If people still want to be loud, wrong, and ignorant, you want to be loud, wrong, and ignorant, arguing with them, we don't need to explain what's already understood. They don't like it, they don't like him. Well, they can like it, and not like him all by themselves. We don't have to participate in that because, as we clearly can see, our energy is well vested in other things. Think about the fact that there's so many things we didn't know that was going on in the background, but the level of support and the outpour that we manifested this season in holding him up, sending him cards, sending him things, flooding the timeline with scriptures and positive affirmations, reposting his moments of achievement. Little do we know, one of those days might have been the day that he saw one of our posts and it kept him going. It put a smile on his face. It took some of that stress away from him. See, that's where we need to be. These other people, they don't deserve our energy or our attention. And the only time that people work so feverishly to dismantle and destroy something is either because they want it and they can't have it, or they too ignorant and too cowardly to understand it. Either way, that ain't our problem. And I say that to you not just in reference to Shador, but just in life, period. I'm not going back and forth with you with something I've seen with my own eyes and I know damn well is correct. Now you can stand and get upset and try to rationalize your piss poor way of thinking. That's on you. I have other things to do, like figure out this nurse math so I can get them legendary tennis shoes when they come out. And I can be in Paris October 25th and this internet family reunion. See, that's what I'm worried about. You start talking to me about Shadua, I'm gonna start asking for some money. What you got on my ticket, big homie? Mm. Since you so interested in proving your point about Shadua, put something on my flight to Paris. I'm gonna take one for the team and go over there and do some quality control. I'm gonna go over there and watch and see how bad he plays so you don't have to watch him. But give me some money since you're talking about it. That's what I'm gonna start doing to the trolls. That's what I'm gonna start doing. I'm gonna start asking them for some money. That usually shuts people up. The internet family reunion is coming up. I need to get me a sundress. What you got on it, homie? I need to get my hair did, my feet did. What you got on that? Because if I'm gonna go and see how bad Shador plays, I at least want to look good for you. So what you got on that? Cash App, Venmo, Zelle. Watch and see how they shut up. But yes, Miss Kay Adams and Aaron Steiny Steinberg, we don't fool with them. Attacked. That's the word she used, y'all. Attacked. um, when you go to the game, if you buy one of those on-field passes, where before the game you get to go on the sidelines, you'll get a chance then because he walks that line a little bit to shake hands with fans and stuff. We'll hook that up, boo. So while we in Tampa, uh, going to the game, let's all know some people. Shoot. Okay, you do know people. Hello. How you doing? Oh my goodness, we so silly. I love that. I love that. See what I'm talking about? Your net worth is your network. I love that for us. So here's the tea. We're getting ready to have a hell of a season. A hell of a season. Whatever you saw or you thought, whatever it was before, get rid of that. It's a new day. It's a new day. And winning is the new pronoun. Winning is the new pronoun. I know Cleveland as a city has been through some really dark times. I know it is also a very racist city. There's a lot of bad things that you could talk about it, but there is a light that has come to Cleveland now. And with that light, it has brought a lot of other candle bearers. And we've had enough of the storm. We're now ready to enjoy the rainbow. Yes, he does. Grace will need to be given. This is a rebuild of a complete organization, not just one or two spots. So if you are here for the microwave package, you in the wrong city. Okay? But you do have a new coach. You do have a quarterback whose work ethic is committed to winning. Not just winning on the field, but winning off the field too. Sheduer was raised to apply the rules of life to everything that he does, which is why he succeeds at everything he does. So I'm excited for the city of Cleveland and the Cleveland Browns, the new team that is being put together. I am excited for the change that is happening. I love the community and the village and the family that is being built by this energy. Watson is not even in the conversation anymore, y'all. Not as far as getting on that field. But back to what I was saying. If you live in Cleveland or you have been a long-standing Cleveland fan, like I said, I know things have not always been the way y'all wanted it to be. And they've done some pretty shitty things to the fans of Cleveland. Pick a team up, move it to Baltimore, and then bring it back and then make them an extension team as if they didn't exist. That's rude and disrespectful. Then you bring Farkle Narkle Bull Dookie coach in here and his circus of clowns, Tony Crossy, Mary Kay Cabot, the ultimate Cleveland clown show. So I get it. It's hard to trust and believe when you have gone through such a long period of nothingness. Well, I'm not a Cleveland Brown fan yet, but I love me some Shedeur Sanders. And I'm becoming a fan of Coach Todd. So, good morning. With that being said, I I might could be converted to be a Brown fan before it's all over with. But I am committed as one of Sheduer's internet aunties to support him and his vision of what it is he wants to see happen in the city he now calls his. So, with that being said, if you haven't done so, please visit the Amazon gift list for the Community Give Back Initiative. We're taking care of the students at the Paul L. Dunbar Arts Enrichment Academy in Cleveland, Ohio. You can go on there, click through the list, and send those children things that they direly need. So that's how I'm going to use my energy. Nephew likes to give back. I do too. So let's give back. And let's give back in the city where he's at. Oh, I don't have a team yet, boo. Just the nephews. But I find myself standing on the Cleveland side of the map. No, I haven't had a team in a long time. Hmm. Well, I have said what I have had to say. So now I'm going to get off of here because I need to tend to some other things. But uh, I don't really think it's important, Nicole, that he be announced as QB1. It used to be when Kevin Stefanski, yeah, he has. He's still asleep, but I'm going to get off so I can go do some stuff. But before I get off, I don't think that's important anymore. Kevin Stefanski made that QB1 and QB all of that important when he was keeping all that foolishness going and that quarterback room competition he had going on. Now everybody is running around worried about QB1. Who's out on the field? And who ain't nobody talking about? And who's not hitting the field? They say that stuff to gaslight us, keep us in an uproar. Because I promise you, Sheduer don't give a damn about if I'm QB1, QB40. I want to play. That foolishness they kicked up last year, yeah. Those rankings only matter when you in practice doing the depth chart trying to figure out who you going to pick. It doesn't matter to him, and it really shouldn't matter to us. Again, those trigger words, QB1. Good morning. So, anywho, I have shared, if you haven't had a chance, go on YouTube and check out the Super Bowl halftime show. It is well worth it. Again, salute to Miss Jody Allen, the owner of the Seahawks. Well done, young lady. Well done. And for the rest of us, let us go do great things. As always, protect your peace and your mental health.